This episode is brought to you by The Guarantors. Chasing down residents who don't pay their rent is taxing enough. Did you know you could offset the risk of renter default? Meet The Guarantors. They'll requalify your applicants and insure their rent. If the resident doesn't pay, you still get paid. Visit theguarantors.com/multifamily today. Welcome to the Multifamily Collective. I am in the middle of batch recording, so you've no doubt by this point seen this outfit 3 or 4 videos in a row. My wife and I are getting set to go to Ireland. I'm very excited about that, and I'm doing some batch recording here on a Saturday night in order to stay on track with my daily posts. So tonight I wanted to talk about why we work so hard sometimes to be someone we are not. And many times we do that because there is a pressure to conform to society, to conform to social norms, to conform to other things that exist in an organization that are influence over you. We conform to Instagram, we conform to Facebook, we conform to all of these things or these people who influence who you are as a person. And at the end of the day, many times you end up sacrificing yourself. You end up showing up in the world not as a beneficial presence to others and to yourself, but you show up as someone who is acting like or presents a facade of such. And at the end of the day, you end up fatigued. You end up in a place mentally that is very tiring and exhausting. And at some point that starts to creep through in who you are as a person outside of that place that you're showing up and being someone you're not. What you really need to do, this is just one guy's opinion, but I've read a lot of books and studied a lot of individuals over the course of my lifetime. The more appropriate way is to show up in an authentic way, to leverage the strengths of who you are. God put you on this earth. The chances of you, the unique you showing up on this earth are some astronomical. The probability is just astronomically against you. The odds are against your being here on this earth at this very moment in time in who you are. So that same God that put you in this place gave you some gifts, and you need to leverage those gifts. You need to take those strengths and present those into the world instead of showing up and trying to be someone you're not. Instead of chasing trends that you might see in social media or trends that you might see in a marketplace. Even if you are running a property and you start chasing all the shiny objects that you think are going to make your property better, instead of just focusing on things like a clean office, clean desktops, standing and greeting people when they walk in the front door, shaking hands, using their name in a conversation 6 or 7 times, getting them to nod their head and yes, and asking them questions in a sales process where they're consistently shaking their head yes, and yes, and yes, until you get that confirmation that they want to lease an apartment. Leverage your authentic self and focus on those things that are tried and true to our industry instead of chasing trends and shiny objects that you think are going to make your effort better simply because somebody might be pressuring you from whatever angle they're coming from because the results aren't presenting themselves. Don't get wildly off just creating things for the sake of creating things. You're just going to be explaining why those things don't work instead of holding true to the fundamentals of our business. The fundamentals of our business are very basic. They're very, very, very basic. Make sure everything is broom cleaned, be kind, care, and do what you say you're going to do. That's it. That's all there is to our business. That's all there is to our business. You will be successful if you do those things. So my encouragement to you today is just sit down and take an inventory of yourself. Where are you off? Think about who's influencing you and who you are trying to be or who you are trying to show up as instead of showing up as yourself. And once you've taken inventory of that, put some strategies in place that give cause for you to not to behave like that or not to be influenced by that particular individual or that particular trend that might be going on in our culture or in our industry that you want to follow just because your regional manager is pressuring you to do something. Do something. Don't just do it. Stick to the fundamentals that are true to our business. Stop working so hard. Do you think You wake up in the morning, you're already exhausted because you probably went to bed watching Instagram. You woke up looking at Instagram, you're reading the news, you're doing whatever. You're exhausted. You're exhausted. Stop working so hard at trying to be somebody you're not, or trying to do things that you're not capable of doing. Show up and be who you are. You are enough. Trust me, you're enough. Show up and be that person. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.